Proud presenting partner of the 2014 Chicago Red Stars, CJ Wilson Mazda has all-star service and breakaway selection with all new models, like the 2014 Mazda 6, starting only $19,999. Discounts off MSRP include all customer incentives, plus tax, title, license, and dock fees. Financing varies for qualified buyers. Offer ends April 30th, 2014. Test drive a Mazda today at CJ Wilson Mazda, located at the corner of LaGrange Road and Joliet Road in Countryside. Visit ZoomZoomNation.com for the largest selection of new and pre-owned Mazdas in Chicagoland. What do you drive?
There are two ways to manage a team. Coach Derek uses a clipboard, the old-fashioned way, and Coach Bob uses his smartphone and the TeamSnap app. It's faster, way faster. When the practice location changes at the last minute, Coach Bob touches one button to notify the entire team by email or text. Coach Derek needs a team. The night before the game, Coach Bob confirms that he has enough players. At game time, Coach Derek discovers he doesn't have a goalie. And while Coach Bob's bank account is happy because he can collect the team fees online, Coach Derek spends hours searching through notes to track down who hasn't paid. TeamSnap puts your team on the field, on the web, and on your phone. Whatever your game, whatever your group, TeamSnap makes it easy. Sign up and try it for free today.
Happy Mother's Day and welcome to Lisle, Illinois and Benedictine University, the home of the Chicago Red Stars. Patient fans, and we haven't checked to see how many are on the stream right now, but you patient fans, first of all, thank you for sticking with us. It looks like the weather has finally cleared. Both teams have finished their warm-ups and have headed to the locker room for a brief break, and we are 15 minutes or so to the starting lineup. We're going to get to storylines in a moment, but I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Arnim Whistler. I've been around the team for a few years. My trusty partner in the booth is someone you all know, Janet Rayfield. She's the head coach, legendary head coach of the University of Illinois women's soccer team, also a women's national team coach and scout, and one of only two undefeated coaches in the history of WPS. Janet, welcome.
Oh, thank you. You know, when you have a short tenured career in the pros, it helps to be the, one of the winningest coaches. I think Marcia actually probably has it because she coached for one game and won, so in the, that pro league. But great to be here, and Arnim, great to be here with you. I think one of the biggest proponents of women's soccer, certainly a great supporter of the game and our game, and I think all the fans out there, myself included, I would be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to say thank you for the things that you've done for this team and for this game. And I know I've had a lot of Chicago area players who have benefited from the things that you've done for women's soccer in this area. So thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here with you tonight.
My pleasure, Janet, and I didn't think you were going to sneak that in, so no more uh-oh, I just saw lightning. I'm going to pretend I didn't see that and hope the grounds crew didn't see that either. All right, well, let me bring you up to speed here. We had a 5 o'clock start. It is 7:42. It looked, until that moment ago, I shouldn't have said that out loud, until that moment ago, it looked like we were all clear. But the rumble of the Thunders just hit the stadium. So we're going to have to see what transpires here. Players, like I said, in the locker room. We have a very important meeting of NWSL today. It is the Houston Dash, the first time the Houston Dash have ever come to play the Chicago Red Stars here. They're an expansion team last year, Janet, and I think both Chicago and Houston looking to find their stride and figure out what their team really is.
Absolutely. I think Chicago and Houston both have, there's some commonalities, even though Houston is the upstart, the expansion team. I think, like Chicago, they've got some young players, some players that are getting experience in the professional game with both feet in, jumping in with both feet and really trying to get things going. So, I think you'll see tonight some young players, a lot of good young players, though, on both squads that I think will be longtime professional players in this league. And, you know, I know there's a lot of players still to come into this league in the next weeks and months, but the experience that these young players are getting while we wait for some of those players to come back from Europe and off their contracts, the experience for these young players is going to be invaluable, because some of these young players, I think when it gets to the end of the season, are going to be needed. And the experience they've gotten at the beginning of this season in a game like tonight, you know, just the experience of having to deal with what they're dealing with right now. Delayed game, weather conditions. You know, we all think that even at the professional level, everything goes smoothly. But I think that one thing that players can learn, especially in our sport, is you better learn how to adapt. And
Right.
this is one of those nights that you've got to adapt to whatever it is, and come out and be ready to play.
I can give some behind the scenes on that. So, you know, an hour or so ago, when the game would have normally been ended, you know, players had planned their calories for the day. They were running out. So we did an urgent run to the grocery store. And just like I'm filling in today on the webcast, we'll get to why I'm doing that. But just the way I'm filling in here, we had people just had to make an emergency run. We bought a variety of all healthy food, of course.
Of course.
For the players for both teams. I'm going to let the PA pass for a minute. Why don't we bring the fans up to speed a little bit on some of the roster changes and updates for both squads. There's actually quite a lot going on. We've had the midweek game, the call-up game between U.S. and Canada, which affects which players can play today. I tell you what, why don't we take a look at some of the highlights from that game, and then we will come back and talk about the effect on the lineups of both teams. Were you able to see the game, Janet?
I didn't. I had some work-related duties that I had to, but certainly have watched some of the highlights and read all the tweets. And you know, it's such a fierce rivalry between these two teams, between these two countries, and with everything that's going on with the U.S. team, not really knowing who their coach is going to be, et cetera, et cetera. You know, I think world-class goalkeeping on both ends. But you know, I think an exciting time for women's soccer internationally as we look to the 2015 World Cup.
Yeah, and this, so obviously with Canada hosting and bringing up a lot of young players early so they can get a look at them over the next several months.
And speaking of one of their young players, what a force she was. You know, I've seen the highlights. I think my assistant coach said an absolute one-person wrecking ball in terms of stopping attacks and doing. But she also on the attacking end just skies above people and gets this goal off the header, off the corner kick. And, you know, when you have a team like Canada that can be well organized, they always make it difficult, and now you've got a player like Kadisha Buchanan who can make something happen. That certainly makes Canada a much more dangerous side.
Really, she was a shutdown player in that game and took away some of the normal attacking options for the U.S. You know, put us in a position that we had to connect a lot more passes and didn't always do it this week.
You know, and I think that's difficult when you've got a coaching transition. You know, I think that's one of the things. It's really hard to get in a rhythm, to get some ideas on the attacking side of things where you're kind of got some consistency and can create some chances. You know, and everything I've read, Canada certainly created the majority of chances on the night. But, you know, to USA's credit, they came up with enough to make it a tie. And certainly something they're going to want to build on.
Yeah, that save that McLeod, you could see on McLeod's face, she's not sure how she made that save. Abby had great position, and she somehow tracked that ball down. So, yeah, great game. I think the rivalry is better than ever. With all the young players coming up on both sides, it should continue to be a great measuring stick, and hopefully prepare both teams to play the rest of the world.
Yeah, you know, and I think it's been a rivalry of the, you know, the players that have been around for a long time, the Christine Sinclair versus Abby Wambach. There's been that kind of rivalry. But in 2015, it might be whose young players are ready to play in that World Cup.
Right.
Is it going to be Buchanan? Is it going to be a young person? Is it going to be Morgan Bryan? Is it going to be which young players are really going to be ready to play in that 2015 World Cup? And that may be what decides some of those battles between the U.S. and some of their counterparts who have developed a lot of young players in this time period where we've had a lot of players stay on the national team, keep competing, and they should. They're talented players. But the other countries didn't have those talented players and so have had to develop some young players. And that could be the story of the 2015 World Cup, is the emergence of a lot of good young players across the world that now have developed.
Right. So midweek, so let's look at who played and how that's going to impact the rosters today. So midweek, Kaylin Kyle for Houston, recent acquisition from Boston in a trade with Boston. I think Nikki Washington was sent to Boston. Kaylin Kyle played 90 minutes, so that could impact her today. She is starting. We'll have to see how her legs are. We saw Jess Fishlock last night after playing, I believe in Wales, fly overseas, play another 90 for Seattle. So maybe Kaylin can do it as well. Erin McLeod played 90 minutes. I think she's a little dinged up for this match. Is that?
It certainly looks like, Henninger is on the starting lineup tonight, and I would assume that means either there's a little bit of a nick. A goalkeeper doesn't expend the kind of energy in a 90-minute game that a field player might, but what they do, especially in a game like that, as active as McLeod was, certainly you have the opportunity to have some knocks and bruises that they may not be wanting to make any worse tonight.
Right. And I think, for the Red Stars, we had Julie Johnston called up, but didn't make the field, which is good news, bad news. She gets 90 fresh minutes tonight, which we're thrilled to have her back. We had 3 Canadian players, LeBlanc, Lyon, and Tancredi. Tancredi, I think, went maybe 19 minutes, somewhere around that. So she should be fine, probably to come in a sub role tonight. But, that plus injuries are going to have an effect on the lineup tonight.
Absolutely. And, Arnhem, regardless of the number of minutes played, travel takes a toll on your body. Right. From a hydration perspective, from just trying to get on a regular routine, eating, sleeping, time changes, et cetera, et cetera. So irrespective of those players that played 90, didn't play 90, all of those players who were called up, even just the emotional toll it takes on a player like Julie Johnson, get called into the national team, right. A dream that, what she wants, and to sit and be on the bench the whole time and not knowing, am I going in, am I not? Right. The energy expended during that 90 minutes for Julie Johnston was not zero, and it will take its toll tonight. And it could be a positive. It could be that she's so excited to get on the field and prove herself and want to do. But there's certainly all of those players who played in that midweek game for their country. There's an impact on what they can do tonight, and it could be positive, and it could be that there's some fatigue. But you can't look at that and say that doesn't impact those players coming onto the field tonight.
Right. Let's talk about injuries for both teams. Injuries and I guess other missing players. So Ohali was sent off in her last game, the Nigerian player, and with a red card is going to miss this match. Now, she's an important part of the back line.
That's a huge, I think, hole now for the Houston Dash. I've watched several of the Houston Dash's games online, and the several games that I've seen, Arnhem, I thought she's gotten better and better, more used to the system, more comfortable. And as her aggression has become more comfortable, she's been a little bit like Buchanan was for Canada. She's been a stopper. She's made teams really have to work hard to get opportunities. And without her in the Dash lineup, I think the Dash will really have to find something to replace her.
Okay. Also, a little bit dinged up, at least on the possible injury report. Henninger, who's going to get a start in goal tonight, had a couple of nicks as well. So hopefully her mobility is good.
Yeah, hopefully for them, she's able to step in, and maybe you've got 2 goalkeepers that are a little dinged up, and it's the choose the one that you think is the least dinged up, the most mobile, the most ready to get after it tonight. And certainly I'm guessing that's what Houston's done tonight.
Well, and then the other two very important injuries for Houston, of course, Brittany Bach and Lauren Sesselman, both with ACL injuries.
You know, that's, I think, been one of the stories of the league is, you know, it's certainly been hit with some injuries early in the season. And, you know, Sesselman playing with Canada, you know, Brittany Bach 28 minutes, I think, into the first game she comes off the field. And, you know, really unfortunate, both for Houston. Those are two players with a good bit of experience professionally, internationally, and maybe not the two best players on the team by any means, but two players who have some experience that really could have probably helped mature Houston a little bit. Whether they helped them tactically or technically, they certainly would have helped them with a little bit of professional maturity. And I'm sure Coach Randy Waldrum has really had to grow some people up a little bit.
You know, it's also, I remember even in WPS, Brittany Bach from Naperville, I believe, certainly from nearby.
Absolutely.
In Chicago, there was always, and I want to say, a 40-person cheering section every time Brittany came to the game. So hello to her family. Hello, Brittany. We miss you, and get well soon. We're just about to the walkout. Let's talk about the Chicago injury update. We're mostly healthy for this game. Obviously, Taryn Hemmings still coming back. I understand she's practicing full.
Fantastic.
And we think she's very close. I don't know. It's up to obviously the medical practitioners and the coach when she's going to start, but I would not think it's going to be too long.
Oh, that's fantastic. You know, I came and saw a Red Stars training early in the preseason and saw her getting a really good workout in, and she was feeling good about things, but also heard Coach Rory Dame say, we're not going to rush this.
Right.
We won't put Taryn back in until doctors are satisfied, Taryn's satisfied, and I'm satisfied. So I think that's a great way.
You can see the players walking out to midfield. We'll finish the injuries, and then we're going to pick up with the PA in just a couple minutes so you can hear the starting lineup. Let's go ahead and pick up the PA here and just hear the starting lineups.
Number 8, Jordan
Jackson. A little bit tonight.
Number 9, Kaylin Kyle. Number 10, Teresa Noyola. Number 14, Becky Edwards. Number 16, Kika Toulouse. Number 19, Nina Berger. Number 21, Holly Hine. And number 30, Ella Masser. The head coach of the Houston Dash is Randy Waldrum. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for your Chicago Red Stars. The captain, number 17, Lori Kolopny. In goal, number 1, Karina LeBlanc. Number 2, Jen Hoy. Number 8, Julie Johnston. Number 10, Vanessa DiBernardo. Number 11, Rachel Kwan. Number 13, Michelle Wenino. Number 16, Samantha Johnson. Number 18, Jackie Santa Catarina. Number 19, Adriana Leon. And number 21, Haley Brock. The head coach for your Chicago Red Stars is Rory Dames. The Red Stars are also coached by Trey Manny, Chris King, and Christian Lavers. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise, remove your caps, and face the flag near the scoreboard for our national anthem as we honor the men and women at home and abroad who fight for our freedoms and keep us safe.
And welcome back. We're going to take a look at the overview for the game. It is probably down to about 70 degrees right now. Light winds, so the wind shouldn't be much of a factor. We think the rain is done. As we mentioned, it's Arnhem Whistler with Janet Rayfield. We can go back through and say all great things about each other, which we did a few minutes ago, but we're happy to be in the booth together.
Absolutely. And, at least 22 young fans who were patient enough got to get involved tonight and walk out with those players. So at least 22 young fans got paid off for their patience tonight and sticking around through the weather and got to walk out with some of their heroes, I'm sure. So we just made the night of 22 young players who stayed through the weather. You heard the starting lineups a couple of minutes ago. We're going to have it for you again on the screen. Not too many surprises for Chicago. This is pretty much what we've seen. Yeah, and I think a pretty expected lineup, I think, for the Chicago Red Stars. As I looked at things, if that graphic plays out, certainly maybe a little different formation, but I think the players that you expected to see here may be a little bit different. Certainly one name in there that you hadn't seen on the Houston Dash roster, Nina Berger, and that causes the dominoes in terms of their lineup.
Right, so
the Austrian that they signed, making her first appearance with the Houston Dash.
Yeah, Nina was signed, I think, April 30th.
Yep.
We understand that she was able to train all week, and we weren't sure, though, that she was going to get her international clearance in time. It must have come through in the last day or so. So we're going to see an Austrian player, maybe for the first time in this league. I'm going to have to think back. Ramona Bachmann was Swiss, I think.
I believe so.
Oh, that was WPS as well.
Yeah,
Well,
I think you're right. I think we might see an Austrian player in this league for the first time tonight, and a very successful one. 226 goals in 9 seasons in Austria. Certainly a different league, but as I say, when players call me at the University of Illinois, 226 goals in any league is a lot of goals. Certainly someone for the Red Stars to have to deal with tonight and not know a whole lot about her, and that's a challenge, I think, for this Red Stars team.
That's hard. I'm sure Coach Dames made some furious calls overseas to try and get at least some idea of the way she liked to run. So we're about to see our starting kickoff. I think we wondered.
And only 3 hours late.
Yeah,
3 hours, almost to the T. But you know what? Like I said, players have to adapt, and it has turned out to be actually a very nice night for a soccer game.
I do believe light rain's still falling. It's obviously a synthetic field here at Benedictine, but it should have drained very well. Generally, the field drains well. It's going to skip a lot, as you would imagine. It would be a keeper's nightmare out there today. And Kwani lets that one roll safely over the end line. We will try and give you an idea of the formation, if there are any surprises. We were curious whether Kyle might drop to the back line or whether she's... looks like a 3-4-3 or some variation on that, but 3 backline players.
But that is Kaylin Kyle there playing, either right back in a 3-back or right center back. But number 9, Kaylin Kyle there in the back line.
And Santa Catarina gets that clear outside to Kwan, and a little bit big touch from DiBernardo there. So I do have to shout out to the fans a little bit. After a 3-hour rain delay, plenty have stayed here, almost all with umbrellas or rain slickers. Haley Brock's first touch of the ball tonight. Haley had just a wonderful strike in our game midweek, Janet. Just a really nice shot.
Yeah, fantastic shot, I think.
And the first time the Red Stars are trying to build an attack. That's Kolupny. And ball out of bounds to Houston. We were going to finish a little bit of the kind of injury update. We talked about Hemmings, who we expect to see back soon. Shannon Box has a healthy baby girl, Zoe. And we're very much hoping to see Shannon soon. She's working out. Is it Lyon down the right side? No one home in the middle, but a chance here. Overlap by Kwan. Oh, nice strike. I think Kolupny in the middle of the field. And Henninger does a nice job smothering that.
Yeah, ball bouncing around the box, and Kolupny certainly gets a foot on that. Great shot, but well defended there by Henninger.
Any surprises for you, Janet, in the way that Houston's lined up? Houston, just by way of background, I think would admit that it's not been the defensive start they've wanted in the league this year. They've, I think, let in more goals than other teams, and it doesn't help to have O'Holly out tonight. And Kaylin Kyle new in the back line.
Certainly doesn't help them. You know, like I said, I think O'Holly's really started to come into her own and was helping Houston. And, you know, her being out for a game, Kaylin Kyle having to jump into that back line. But, you know, Kaylin's got some great experience, and I'm sure she will do her best to be part of that back line. Does look like they've got, you know, 4 in the back. Romero, Kyle, Hine, Toulouse looks like across the back. So they're certainly going to come out with 4 in the back and try to keep the ball out of the back of the net tonight.
Okay, Santa Catarina fouls over the back there. And that slick ball almost dances off the head and out of bounds, but Kyle picks that up cleanly. You know, this is a little bit different lineup for the Red Stars in the back line. Red Stars have been solid defensively so far. I think have let in the least amount of goals in the league. Maybe Seattle could be ahead of them there. Apologize if I got that slightly wrong. But let's just let this play out. Onside. Referee says onside. Nice ball. So the Red Stars tinkering a little bit with the back line. Normally Santa Catarina would share that center back role with Johnston, but we've got Sam Johnson next to her and then pushed Santa Catarina up to a holding mid. Yeah,
you know, I think, you know, Coach Dames has gotten a little bit more comfortable with Samantha Johnson in the back, and so the Johnson and Johnston duo at center back certainly allows him to push Santa Catarina, who's probably a little bit more natural defensive center mid than Julianne Sitch. Although I thought Sitch has done a great job in that role and is she's such a workhorse. But Santa Catarina, in terms of being a ball winner, sitting in that hole, probably a little bit more natural in that spot than Sitch. And there you see the pace of Jin Hoy. You know, she can close ground really quickly, deceptively quickly at times.
Yeah, it's not a player that you. Oh, now she might be offside. The referee did not call that either. I thought she might have been offside on that ball.
It looked like a couple of Red Stars floating along that offside lines as DiBernardo served that ball into the box. Certainly a dangerous opportunity.
Good long service from Henninger out of the goal. I don't think that's wind assisted. I think it's a pretty, no, not much wind right now.
The flag is
got a great leg.
Really as still as it can be on a Chicago night. Doesn't get much more still than that.
So we're always looking, if you're a Red Stars fan, we're always looking to get lots of touches for really our attacking mids. Kolupny and DiBernardo, both with great vision and usually great service. And if they're getting denied the ball, our engine breaks down a little bit and we don't tend to get as many opportunities.
Certainly, I think a strength of the team that can continue to get stronger as DiBernardo and Kolupny start to get a chemistry between them. You know, both have great attacking personalities, but can keep the ball, can make a team chase, and the more they play together, I think the better it's going to be for the Red Stars.
There we go. Thought that was a pass to nowhere, but Leon and she were on the same page, and Leon chased that down. One other storyline that I'm sure the fans are aware of. This is the return of 2 of our favorite players who went to Houston in the offseason. We've got Ella Masser and Erin McLeod back in the house.
You know, and I'm sure, I think as they announced Ella in the starting lineup, you heard a little bit of a cheer from the crowd. Certainly a favorite of the Illinois contingent has been since she played at the University of Illinois. And so I'm sure they're
aware of Ella.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Just a little bit. And certainly I know her family is probably in the stands,
Nice
patient
service.
enough to wait out in the weather.
Far post. Very nice opportunity there for the Red Stars. Just missed outside the post. Who's was that Johnston, I think, on the header?
And I tell you, that's been certainly been a strength of the Red Stars. DiBernardo's restart service has been phenomenal this season. It's you know, the thing about restarts, if you can find someone who can serve consistently so that you know where the ball is coming and get on the end of it, and you know, Vanessa DiBernardo to Julie Johnston has been a pretty good restart option for the Red Stars.
Right, and they're obviously on the same page. Spent a lot of time at U23s, U20s.
Certainly have spent quite a bit of time playing together and doing just that, connecting on restarts. You know, Julie's ability in the air has certainly been something that's any coach would take advantage of. And you've got someone with great service, someone with great courage and ability in the air. That's certainly an option on restarts.
We'd like to get, this is from my vantage point, I think, you know, the Red Stars need to win some more balls in the air during the run of play. Santa Catarina is a great ball winner there, but we gotta find our way on the front line, not just on the back line, to win more of those balls too, because we are going to get great service, I think.
Certainly a challenge right now. You know, we weren't sure what formation the Houston Dash might come out in, with Berger inserted into the lineup, Ojai, Ella Masser. You know, how many were they going to put on the front line? But it looks like Berger and Masser playing up top, and Houston in a 4-4-2 with a little bit of a diamond. You know, Ojai on one side, Jordan Jackson on the other. So it's making it a little bit tough, you know, as they tuck in and help defend numerically in the midfield. So, you know, I think Chicago's got to find some time, find the spaces, figure out where their three midfielders are going to be able to get the ball at their feet and do some damage.
Well, we very much miss both Ella and Aaron. We, you know, obviously love our current squad, but those were great, good characters, good for the team, good for the fans, and glad they're doing well in Houston.
You know, as things unfold and players get traded and expansion drafts and those sort of things, it's just been exciting. You get a sense that it's a true professional league, and professional decisions aren't always, you know, you don't get to keep all the great players in one place necessarily, but it's fun to just watch the development of the league and Houston expanding and taking players from different teams and putting together a team that is certainly doing their best right now to compete in the league.
Right. I thought great cross just there, left-footed cross from Ella. Unfortunately, no runner on the same page, and that's what happens. Nina's been with the team for a week, and maybe they just weren't quite sure what the movement was going to be. But good, dangerous service. So we're in, actually both teams, but I'll start with the Red Stars in a very interesting stretch. So we've got a team and a roster, great characters, good iron women of character, as we like to say, but we have 6 more players that we are aware of that are going to be joining the roster over the next few weeks. So we will have more dimensions and more options. And I think, from my perspective, when you look at the season and the need to manage players in some of these tough stretches, the deep bench is going to be just a wonderful thing to have.
You know, absolutely. You know, I said I wasn't able to watch the U.S.-Canada game the other night because I was had some professional responsibilities, and I was listening to our football and basketball coach talk about depth and what depth was going to provide them for their teams. And it doesn't matter in any high-level sporting season, depth is vital.
Nice.
And here's the Red Stars in.
Nice little touch by Leon out to Hoy, or is that DiBernardo? Hoy.
That's Hoy on the flank, and you know, great little touch to get Hoy in, and you know, and I think that's where Jen's sophistication is going to continue to grow.
Yeah.
She's got to use her pace and get to the end line and make that, turn that into a dangerous opportunity.
So let's talk about our secret 6, not so secret anymore since a couple were revealed, but let's start with Hemmings, who we've talked about. Obviously a great player. This is not in any way prophetic, but she came to us from Boston, and we are playing Boston twice in the next week. Wouldn't it be interesting if she came back in time to play against Boston.
I'm certain that she would probably hope that that's the case. Well, I'm sure Taryn just hopes she gets back.
Right.
Last month is probably what she would hope. But I mean, you look at the players that even Tancredi, who we might see on the field tonight.
Right. One of our 6. Yep.
That's one who can certainly add something from a dynamic, dangerous perspective. You got Hemmings, who can help shore down this defense, and then the 2 internationals that certainly we know about. Bring so much experience. It's going to make a difference to this team as they enter into the next sort of phase, if you want to call it, of this season.
Yeah, nice build up there by Houston. Just lacking that final pass, but not the best defending from Chicago there. So let's finish the 6. So we've got Tancredi,
and here comes
Canadian
Haley Brock in on the.
So Tancredi, the Canadian international, got some minutes, finally back on the field. I think we'll probably see her tonight as maybe a super sub late, depending on how the game develops. We talked about Hemmings. Let's see how this develops. And Leon on the right side, looking for somebody to connect to. Oh, maybe obstructed. They're just going to give an obstruction there. The 2 international signings this week, Emily Van Egmond, 20 years old. She's a midfield player, very skilled and technical, but also, big, solid. She will be joining us when the Asian Cup, I believe it's the Asian Cup, is complete.
That's fantastic, and I think that's a player who has some experience, even at the young age of 20.
Another good service. Can't find the head in the ball. Oh, a bike, an attempted bike.
I didn't even have to look to see it was probably Julie Johnson with that attempted bike. It doesn't matter what surface, whether she's upside down, right side up, Julie Johnson's going to try to do whatever she can to, on that end, put the ball in the back of the net, and you'll see her do the same thing on the defensive end to keep the ball out of the back of the net. And certainly for the U20 World Championship, we were certainly happy to have her in front of our goal, keeping the ball out of the back of the net.
She's been a treat. I knew her game a little bit, but it's been great to see, just some of the grit and, but great technique as well, but some of the grit. That we need along that back line. See how this plays out. Nice touch. Can't quite get the connection. And the Red Stars clear. Hoy, if she gets the touch, she's gone.
And you saw right there sort of the advantage of Kaylin Kyle in the back. Plays center back like a pretty composed midfielder there. Hoy putting her under pressure, take a touch, get out of pressure. So although Kaylin Kyle might be new in the back, she's certainly going to be composed on the ball.
Well, not a bad place to save her legs a little bit. It's not that, the defenders don't run, but certainly compared to holding mid or some of the other places she might be playing, this ought to protect her a little bit after the 90 with Canada this week.
Certainly not the end-to-end running that you might see in the midfield.
Next international signing this week. Oh, I should mention Van Egmond is a co-captain of the Australian national team. Great leadership. Goal of the year, some people know, in the Westfield League last year. It's a great goal if you see that online. If you Google her, it'll come up, one of the early entries. Red Stars snuff that out, but not out of danger yet. Some room on the right side. And Kwan steps up to smother that one. Samantha Johnson, more of really an attacking player. I mean, I got a chance to talk to her a little bit over the last week, and spent most of her career in attack, so this is new for her.
Absolutely. I think certainly spent most of her college career as a forward or as a midfielder. And
Barack still working it on
as
the end line.
happens quite often when players get to the next level. You know, you'll see some attacking players that have those qualities of pace and ability to attack out of the back, et cetera, make that transition. And I think Samantha Johnson is one who, and this may be important for her as she gets into this professional level, maybe she finds a place in a back line where she might have a hard time competing to be at an international level as a forward or as a midfielder.
Right. But she's having fun. She's, you know, glad to be on the field, obviously. I also didn't realize that she had essentially stepped out of soccer for a year, that she thought her career was over, and came back into our tryouts and has won a spot here. So it's great to see her back on the pitch. It's great to see the league give people opportunities like that.
It's the best thing about this league is that, and I've told many a player coming into the college game, everyone's development path is different depending on the experiences they had, their own physical development and maturity, their tactical development and maturity, their technical development and maturity, which I think they have a lot of responsibility for. But this league gives that players the opportunity for that path to be longer, for that path to take longer, and many players need that, and this league is perfect for that.
I didn't see the foul.
I think potentially an advantage was left for a foul that took place about the mid-stripe on Adriana Leon as she played that ball. I think she was fouled there, and the referee let it play out to see if maybe a Red Star was going to get on the end of it. And when they didn't, called it back for a restart here at the mid-stripe.
And this is the difference between an experienced professional and a fan in the booth, where I watch the ball and pros watch off the ball. So thank you, Janet, for catching that. Johnston a little lower, I think, than she wanted. That ball's going to head out of bounds. Nope. Kwani gets back in time. I wanted to continue our other international this week. Abby Urseg, tall, strong central defender, the New Zealand captain of the New Zealand national team. Let's see if Hoy can get on this. She's gonna get a touch. No?
Just barely.
Referee says just over the end line.
And not many players in the league would have had a chance to get even close,
no,
and Jen Hoy just missed
that.
that.
It was long gone. So Abby has, I think, is going to be just a great addition to the squad. Again, another captain, another leader, an experienced defender, most recently playing in Germany for Jena, Jena. They're in about 5th place in the Bundesliga, and so out of contention, and they were kind enough to let her go and continue her season with us.
And again, I think it's fantastic that this league is attracting players at that level that are playing in the Bundesliga in Germany and giving opportunities for young domestic players. The blend of those two things, I think, is fantastic for this league. And certainly for the Red Stars, what a great...
Jackie Santa Catarina with an inadvertent handball.
Yeah. What a great opportunity for the Red Stars. You know, as I looked at that signing, I thought, you know, this is, I think Coach James realized what an experienced central defender like Sonia Foose did for this team and how that leadership could make a difference in a back line. And certainly, I think Ursig probably gives a little bit of that to this team.
Yeah, and it's been Johnston, again, a great surprise in that she likes to organize. So she's really active back there, but I think potentially her and Urseg, or giving an opportunity for Julie to roam a little more, maybe go forward a little bit, is going to be a nice element to this team.
I think it gives Coach James some options. And here's a great break and a great stop there by Jordan Jackson just to slow things down.
Didn't see who went down, but certainly the Houston coaching staff thought there was a foul at the other end when the player went down. It's a nice ball in, and a little bit of a miscommunication between the two Chicago players there.
I think Jen Hoy and Vanessa DiBernardo both saw an opportunity to get a shot off on that one and didn't see each other.
Oh, just a little further than Masser could grab. I always, hate obviously the back pass is the right play there, but you just never know on a wet night what that ball is going to do when the keeper's got to clear that under pressure. So I
think you got two goalkeepers here who both teams are pretty confident in their ability with their feet, and I think you'll see both teams get themselves out of pressure using their goalkeeper.
$150. For more information, please call 773-697-8699 or go to ChicagoRedStars.com.
Any surprises so far for you, Janet, in the way that the teams are trying to build up or who they're trying to play through?
You know, I think no surprises necessarily. I think neither team has really gotten a hold of the ball in the midfield. And I think for either of them to be successful, midfield is going to be important. And part of it's the surface, part of it's the formation. But I think somebody's got to settle down and find Kolupny and find DiBernardo. Or on the flip side, Houston's got to find Teresa Noyola, Becky Edwards to set some play for them.
And DiBernardo with the corner kick, looking for her favorite. Oh, and Jackie's there. Gets a touch. Oh. It's a very nice strike, I think, by Samantha Johnson.
There you see the forward defender that gets forward and can still put a strike on goal. If that had been a natural defender, we might have seen it go over the crossbar. But that's a forward playing in the back that when she gets in front of the goal still knows what to do.
Yeah, so I was a center mid when I was younger, but these days I'm more of a defender, and my shot would have gone well over the crossbar. Kwan with a bump, no foul there. And Johnson just misses that header, and opportunity here for Houston. Johnston cleans it up, but gives it back. Berger, the new Austrian. Usually I would say, and Brock will have some, Brock also sneaky fast. She looks like she ought to be a little faster with the stride length, but boy, she puts defense under a lot of pressure as well. Oh, that's got to be a foul. So Ella pulling her friend, Rachel Kwan, down.
Well, Ella Masser's never going to let you have the ball uncontested and certainly going to battle for things there. But I think in that last sequence you saw what having Jackie Santa Catarina in the midfield, there was even just the exchange there. Julie Johnson with Jackie. Julie gets to stay in the midfield, keep set and play, and Jackie drops back into the back line. So, this certainly gives the Red Stars a little bit of flexibility.
More like what Johnston usually strikes, a little bit higher. And, Kolupny still causing trouble. Ball played safely out. We'll have Kwan with a throw-in. So I think we had a few more of our 6. Number 5, I'm going to say, we talked about Box, Hemmings, Urseg, and Van Egmond. Number 5, there's a player named Kristen Press. Some have heard of her. She's going to be a spark of electricity, I think, both for our team and the league when she gets here.
Even you watch tonight and situations like this, whoever it is, Rachel Kwan just then, Lori Kolupny, Vanessa DiBernardo.
Call, I guess, on Brock there on the left side.
Yeah, any of those players that get the ball run at the back line, and Jen Hoy's got great pace, but without another threat, without the sophistication of a player like Kristen Press, you don't create as much. Those players and their serviceability, their vision, able to find a player like Kristen Press who's got a little bit of sophistication, that's certainly going to take the Red Stars' attack to a different level.
And a nice nose for finishing as well. So we're excited about all these players. There's the 6th one we're calling Player X. It's kind of intriguing, isn't it?
That's pretty intriguing, and I have to say, I don't even, I looked all over. I didn't see a Player X on the roster, so. I'll tell the fans it's not me. I'm not coming out of retirement, so we're
Janet,
good to go.
It is not Janet. It's not going to be Janet. Marcia McDermott is coming back out of retirement. Hi, Marcia. We think you might be watching. No, so we have a 4th international slot and some discussions underway, and I would just say stay tuned.
Another corner kick for the Red Stars, and as you know, as we've seen, another opportunity.
Always the short corner available to Kolupny, both. Oh, heel. This is the one other thing that happens when you have an amateur like me. I tend to grunt and get excited when the ball's in front of the goal like that. So apologies to all of you who may be struggling through this.
Well, and again, I think one of the great things you see DiBernardo and Kalepny getting on the ball right now, there's no way any team is going to let those two on a ball without pressure. And so it draws two defenders out on the ball, and the players are still marked in the box, but the amount of space in the box is just that much greater and allows someone the chance to get on top of this.
Oh, another chance.
And there's Santa Catarina diving to keep this ball in, still in the box.
Oh, certainly nice strike there on the outside by...
Red Stars players and fans calling for a handball. I can't say that I saw that up here in the box, but here's a replay here.
On the replay. So who heads that down first? Saved by Henninger. And that must be the handball there.
Yeah.
You know.
And certainly probably ball to hand, I would say inadvertent. I don't think the Houston Dash player had a chance to move her hand, much less intentionally put it in the way of that ball. But again, great serve by DiBernardo. Great effort. Great save by Henninger to keep the initial attempt out.
A couple of good opportunities for the Red Stars in the box tonight. And I think, things... Certainly no team dominating, but Red Stars have had the kind of chances they'd like to get. I think we'll see a few more out of the run of play, but there, bring in Kwan. And Kwan's going to take a shot, a very nice shot. So surprise, I think the keeper, good for her that she was ready. That's not what Kwan would normally do. Tends to pass first. But a counterattack. And back the other way here. Leon on the right side into Hoy. Back to Leon. Is she going to get there? No. Just a little much. Slickfield still having an impact. So Kristen Press will join us just as soon as the Champions League final. I believe it's on May 22nd. So as soon as that final's over, her contract ends, and we'll see her hopefully very soon after that. But news for Houston, which I know they can't wait for, is on that same team, Tiriso or Tiriso, as I think Foudy said Tiriso this week. I always thought it was Tiriso.
I always thought Tiriso myself. So
but I'm not going to go against Julie. So anyway, Meg Klingenberg and Whitney Engen, both also on Tiriso, will be joining the Dash on the back line. And those two really, at this point, darn close to starting players on the women's national team squad should make a huge difference in the back for them.
Well, I mean, you put those two and O'Holly in this back line right now, and you completely change your back line in terms of experience, in terms of athleticism, and nothing against the players. It frees Kaylin Kyle up, maybe frees Ari Romero to get forward out of the attack. Again, gives Coach Waldrum a chance to do some things and really try to put the best 11 players he can on the field and put them in a position to do what they do well. There's certainly some players here having to do some things that keep them from doing what maybe they do best and filling holes that they need to fill. And you get those two players in, and not only do those players step on and immediately make an impact, but it also allows other players maybe to be better for Houston.
Right. And some nice work there by Brock on the side to keep that going. Let's see what her next touch is. She's a dangerous player. Goes near post. Henninger once again snuffs that out, reads it well. Nice diving save to her right. So I'm not one who's particularly concerned about Seattle's fast start. They're a great team. I love what Laura Harvey did in the offseason. And they certainly have an 8-point lead right now over the second-place team. But what strikes me about the league is most every team will change dramatically around June because there's so many players coming in, international players, many on Tiriso. Vero Boquet is going to be going to Portland. But there are a lot of players coming into this league that will help every team. We're going to have some very interesting games down the stretch. I don't think anybody's going to get away too far.
I don't think so. I think as this league develops, the parity is going to continue to be there and to get stronger as players come into the league, as young players mature, as teams get more solid with the personnel that they have, you're going to see the parity in this league start to close pretty quickly. No doubt Seattle's jumped out to a start.
I guess that was a strike. Oh, Hoy is in. Oh, just high. Oh, I'm sorry. It went under the crossbar.
Absolutely under the crossbar. So
misread that, but goal, Chicago Red Stars. Nice work there by Hoy to get a little bit of space and a chip just over the outstretched hand.
That was a ball attempted to be served to the far post, a little bit misplayed by Romero, and Hoy picks up the bobbled ball in the box and gets a foot on it and puts it over Henninger, and Red Stars up 1-0.
And here's one more look at the replay from a different camera, and you're going to see a little missed header there, and then Hoy, very calm, very nice, just over Henninger, who's played a great game. Not even sure I'd say she was out of position there. That's a tough shot to pull off.
You know, it's a tough one and an unexpected one. You know, I think Romero, unfortunately, was trying to head that ball clear of danger, but in doing so really put herself off balance and, you know, unable to kind of turn and defend Hoy, who fought for that ball and reached for it, you know, kind of off the top of the foot, but got the fortuitous Mother's Day bounce and up into the goal.
And I think for those that remember the New Jersey game midweek, there was a potential game winner that Hoy just missed in front of the goal late. I think this was very good for her to get that finish, and we know she's going to get those 9 out of 10 times.
You know, I think especially for young players getting into this professional league, you know, and I think the same of Haley Brock, who's got a goal now. You know, getting the first one is a big challenge, I think. And it gives you the confidence that, yeah, I can score in this league and whatnot. So certainly I think that will be helpful for Jen Hoy.
Interesting. Berger really has established herself far outside right. I wonder what her natural position is, you know, in Austria if she plays more centrally. Hasn't yet had as much impact. Here she is.
You know, and again, I think you got an international player. Certainly a unique situation tonight in a 3-hour game delay. You know,
oh, that's
interesting
got to
to
be a foul. Kyle threw the back on DiBernardo or Hoy? Hoy.
Yeah, that long, dark ponytail, sort of hard to tell from up here in the booth.
We're trying. We're looking through a screen.
I can certainly tell because I think I know DiBernardo's gait a little bit better than you, so I've got the two of them sorted out.
So let's just be clear. How many former Janet Rayfield players are on the field right now? Hang on, a long cross. It's going to fall nicely to the Red Stars. Leon likes to shoot, by the way. Thought she was going to... Oh. You might hear, I don't know, Enrique, if we can pick up the PA for a second. I'll explain this in a minute.
I think I hear some Disney music, Arnhem.
Yeah, I don't know if we're still on mic or not. Well, Enrique, am I back? My own? Okay. The local 134 supporters group, our longest running supporter group, we've had them since Toyota Park and the WPS Red Stars, has asked us, hang on, that's great. Nope, and LeBlanc comes out to get that ball. But has asked us to do something in the 34th minute of every game. Hang on one second, we'll see how this develops. Leon with some fancy footwork, but the ball's going to go the other way. So in the 34th minute of every game, for the local 134, we sing When You Wish Upon a Star. The Jiminy Cricket, sort of Disney. We sing the first two verses of that. And the local 134 group leads the whole stadium in singing that song.
And
which is very special.
The song have significance to the local 134, I take it.
Well, it's When You Wish Upon a Red Star, I should say.
I see.
Now Janet's locked in. Let's see Berger
I hope
with the
some
ball.
of the fans had the same difficulty with that as I did, or I'm going to
Yeah, I
feel
have a feeling when that's a nice run. It's going to let that play on. Could have been a foot left in a little bit long there.
And Julie Johnson jogs away and says, "I did something." Of course not.
Me?
But you know, the referee, I think, letting a couple of things go here. Certainly could have, from where I sit, possible foul on Leon as she danced on the ball there, and certainly a player going down here.
So, you know, we wish NWSL had been around for decades. Haven't gotten there yet. But these kinds of local supporter groups, the Royal Guard in Seattle, I think it's the Riptide in Boston, and I know the Thorns guys probably not listening to me tonight, and the Thorns supporters group, just great for the league. We do all that we can to really help amplify what they want to do. Add a unique dimension to the stadium experience. Give the fans something to engage in as the game goes along.
And you know, they're vital on the college campuses. You know, those groups are vital. You see what kind of environments that college programs can create, and they've got a natural fan base. You know, 30,000 people living in Champaign for us to try to convince to come out. But those local student support groups and community support groups are vital too. And there's two Illini teammates.
Is that Master taking down
Jackie and giving her a little bit of a hand slap as they get up.
Were they the same year?
Or
was one older? Ella maybe a year
Jackie's
older?
a little bit older.
Jackie's older,
yeah.
okay.
So, but certainly spent quite a bit of time together. And Jackie was usually the one that told Ella when she needed to stop talking.
Oh, okay.
And probably still does to this day, is my guess.
Well, ball in. Hoy's not going to get on that one.
Both teams finding their midfield a little bit. You've seen Teresa Noelia get on the ball a little bit and be able to serve some pretty good balls into the box that LeBlanc's had to deal with. And, DiBernardo and Kolupny have had a couple of opportunities. So we're seeing a little bit more possession on both teams.
And Berger's going to get a touch here in a dangerous place. Let's see what she does. Oh. Wenino just missed that header. Header well marked, but good ball in. Ella bounces it down off the turf, and LeBlanc able to clean that up.
Yeah. Certainly Ari Amaro, player out of Nebraska, the University of Nebraska, Big Ten Defender of the Year. Fantastic player, served a great ball there into the box. And, fortunately for Wenino, I think made Ella, sort of get over her to try to head that ball. Took a little bit of the pace that she was able to get on the ball. Gave LeBlanc a chance to make that save.
A lot of people don't know, or maybe don't remember, that Wenino was on that that first Red Stars roster as well as one of our kind of reserves. So she too has known Ella for just years and years. Yeah. So we'll see if Ella fouls anyone else tonight that she cares for. A little bit optimistic there. Love to see Kolupny fire those in, but I'm not sure there was a great option there.
She had Leon coming down that flank, but certainly was, as you would say, optimistic that she was going to connect on that one.
Just right. I think I stole that from one of my Brits. Shifty move. In the 41st minute, I think you've had the clock on the screen all night, so we haven't done a lot of telling you that. But 41st minute, still Red Stars 1-0 on the nice soft chip over Henninger's outstretched hands. So what'd you do, Janet, for 3 hours of the delay? Did you have any productive things that you could do?
Not a whole lot, since my computer and phone and everything else was sitting right up here in the press box as we were stuck in the student center, safe from any lightning and storms that might have ensued.
Steal that ball, and let's see what her pace does with Kyle here. She's going to get a... No. Nice job by Kyle.
And great recovery from Kyle. You know, she sort of gave that ball away trying to play out of the back, but certainly made up for it by chasing Brock down and making sure she didn't get a serve in the box.
Legs look just fine there.
And didn't look like there were those 90 minutes
no.
earlier had much to do with that.
A chance, I'm telling you, she really wants to shoot. She's been very nice getting others involved tonight, but I know that Dre's got a great shot, and we're going to want to see that if she gets any space there. And Samantha with the big right foot right to the keeper.
Hey fans, have you ever wanted to sign for the Red Stars player or have dinner with the Olympians?
Yeah, there's sort of an Illini line right there in the middle with Ella, Jackie, and Vanessa, and they all three almost just converged on that ball right there.
Yep.
Visit ChicagoRedStars.com to join the club today.
You know, I have fans yelling out handball, and I don't think there's anything obvious there. Again, they're staying to the end, Janet. We've got, I don't know, a couple hundred that
No,
made
and
it through the delays.
There's still fans lining the sidelines in their sideline seats, and several in the stands. You see some yellow ponchos, and you know, a big tribute to the fans that have stayed through for several hours. You know, that's when you know you've got a true diehard fan, and I think we'll continue to grow those fans for this league.
Well, I could tell stories all night long, but I'm not sure that's why folks tuned in. But I do remember in what I think were certainly the toughest years for the Red Stars, 2011, when we had to bow out of WPS. You know, we still had in WPSL, just by sending out an email, you know, we would still get 700 fans. And it was just such a beautiful thing. You know, we weren't playing the same level of competition. We didn't have the same quality of players. We had some great players, by the way, who, in fact, DiBernardo, Amanda Sonali, others were on that squad. But the fans just kept showing up, and you know, it's a very special thing here in Chicago. We've got to get, obviously, you know, a wider fan base, but the ones that we have are so dedicated. It's really heartwarming. Nice win there by Samantha. Very high line by Houston right now. Early ball for Masser. Johnston is there to end that.
And a great reading, you know, from that back line. You know, you look up and you see a service coming and look up and see Ella running, but that back line dropping. Certainly together, you can see the leadership of Julie Johnston organizing that back line. They trust her. They listen to her. It's a pretty cohesive unit for this young Red Stars defense.
Nice steal there by, is that DiBernardo? No?
Absolutely.
It is. Now you know the gait of DiBernardo. Now
Yeah.
let's see with the vision that we all love. There it is. Lay off to, no, Kolupny's out right. Just going to get there. One touch. Oh, my goodness. And quick one touch by Brock. Just goes outside that near post. Just off the woodwork, I believe.
Great
If we
opportunity
can
there for the
see,
Red
here's
Stars.
the replay. Good by Vanessa. And a very nice idea by Brock to one touch that.
You know, and there's the experience of a Kolupny on that flank, getting that ball in. And, you know, I spoke earlier about Jen Hoy getting on the flank and Haley Brock. You know, that's the kind of service that creates a dangerous opportunity. Certainly Brock making the run in the box. But it's the ability of Kolupny to connect on that service. You know, but there's the dangerous Red Stars. You know, DiBernardo or Kolupny running out of the midfield, able to play people in and get in the box. And great chance there for the Red Stars at the closing of the first half.
Nice again. Samantha intercepts that ball, cuts that out, and resets the defense. Great tonight. You can really hear the communication of the players on the field tonight. It's fun. And that's where we are after a couple-hour rain delay. Janet and I happy to have all of you. We're going to cut to halftime here, take a little bit of break. We've got some sponsors we need to thank and some other things we're going to do. And we will see you for the second half. I believe the rain is no longer a threat.
I think the rain has stopped. A great first half of soccer. Some great opportunities for the Red Stars. I think Houston will try to get back and see if they can't get their newly found Austrian the ball a little bit more. You know, I don't think we saw as much of Berger as they would like, or as I would like. I'd like to see what she's got. And
I'd like to see
hopefully we'll see her a little bit more and see what she can do in the second half. But I think the Red Stars have to be pleased with that half, coming out after a delay, getting a goal, going in up 1-0. But certainly want to convert on some more of their opportunities. So hopefully we'll come back in the second half and see some exciting attacking soccer.
Sounds great. We'll see you in about 20 minutes. Enjoy the halftime.
Touches one button to notify the entire team by email or text. Coach Derek needs a team. The night before the game, Coach Bob confirms that he has enough players. At game time, Coach Derek discovers he doesn't have a goalie. And while Coach Bob's bank account is happy because he can collect the team fees online, Coach Derek spends hours searching through notes to track down who hasn't paid. TeamSnap puts your team on the field, on the web, and on your phone. Whatever your game, whatever your group, TeamSnap makes it easy. Sign up and try it for free today.
Proud presenting partner of the 2014 Chicago Red Stars, CJ Wilson Mazda has all-star service and breakaway selection with all new models, like the 2014 Mazda 6, starting only $19,999. Discounts off MSRP include all customer incentives, plus tax, title, license, and dock fees. Financing varies for qualified buyers. Offer ends April 30th, 2014. Test drive a Mazda today at CJ Wilson Mazda, located at the corner of LaGrange Road and Joliet Road in Countryside. Visit ZoomZoomNation.com for the largest selection of new and pre-owned Mazdas in Chicagoland. What do you drive?
Welcome to KK Cam, Chicago style. It's a little cold here. We're gonna go train. The Chicagoans have thought it's a great day because there's sun. But for me, this is my 6th year. Let's go meet the group. They don't quite know about me yet, which is the great thing. One's already, look, she's already
Dun, dun, dun.
scared. Okay, so we're gonna go over. We'll start with Taryn. Hi. Hi. Say hi to the camera.
I was like trying to hide from you.
How are you? Why is everybody running away?
Because we don't want to be on camera.
Why? When she's got her glasses on, she's looking all good.
They're actually Drees.
They're Drees.
She's styling me today.
Look at this one.
Hello. Hello.
Looking good in there. So let's move over into some of these outfits. Everybody, say hi to the camera. Say hi to the camera. Hey. State your name.
Samantha Johnson.
Oh my God, really? Okay. State your name.
Rachel Kwan.
Are you sure? Okay. Come on over here. We got some newbies. I guess I'm the newbie, but state your name. Go ahead, everybody. Just say hi.
Hi, I'm Jessica Vitelli. Michaela's last name.
Hello! Hi, what's your name?
Julie.
Julie, do the last name.
Johnston.
Welcome, Julie Johnston, everybody. She plays for America. It's okay. Canada loves USA. Yep, that's okay. Just kidding. We got some more people. Hi. Hey, what's your name?
Wait a minute. What is this?
What's your name?
Lori.
What's your last name?
Kalupny.
What do you do?
Play soccer.
For who?
Red Stars.
Where's the Red Stars?
In Chicago.
Tell us a fun fact about Chicago.
Chicago has the Red Stars.
Guys, her fact is Chicago has the Red Stars. Yes, what else, Lori?
like-
We'll be here all night, folks. She just told us Chicago has the Red Stars. Well done. Okay.
You know what? I just got here like 2 weeks ago. Give me a little time.
Really?
A little bit of time.
What's the funniest thing about Chicago from last year? What am I going to love most about you?
I love the sports here. Like people really get into the sports, so that's fun. Yeah, the hockey and the baseball and all that stuff.
So Cubs or Sox?
Well, I have to go Sox because I'm really a St. Louis Cardinals fan, and the Cubs are like, no. So
Explain that to me.
it's just like Cardinals, Cubs, Chicago, St. Louis, like big rivalry. So,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
So there was a green river the other day. Did you go swimming in it?
No, I did not.
No?
We had a double day, actually.
Oh,
so.
okay. We've had a lot of them.
Yeah.
Today another double day?
Maybe next time.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta go. Gotta go. That's it.
Practice
Thanks.
time.
All right. Peace out. Bye.
are two ways to manage a team. Coach Derek uses a clipboard, the old-fashioned way, and Coach Bob uses his smartphone and the TeamSnap app. It's faster, way faster. When the practice location changes at the last minute, Coach Bob touches one button to notify the entire team by email or text. Coach Derek needs a team. The night before the game, Coach Bob confirms that he has enough players. At game time, Coach Derek discovers he doesn't have a goalie. And while Coach Bob's bank account is happy because he can collect the team fees online, Coach Derek spends hours searching through notes to track down who hasn't paid. TeamSnap puts your team on the field, on the web, and on your phone. Whatever your game, whatever your group, TeamSnap makes it easy. Sign up and try it for free today.
Proud presenting partner of the 2014 Chicago Red Stars, CJ Wilson Mazda has all-star service and breakaway selection with all new models, like the 2014 Mazda 6, starting only $19,999. Discounts off MSRP include all customer incentives, plus tax, title, license, and dock fees. Financing varies for qualified buyers. Offer ends April 30th, 2014. Test drive a Mazda today at CJ Wilson Mazda, located at the corner of LaGrange Road and Joliet Road in Countryside. Visit ZoomZoomNation.com for the largest selection of new and pre-owned Mazdas in Chicagoland. What do you drive?
We live? Welcome back, everyone, to Benedictine University and the Chicago Red Stars Houston Dash game. We are approaching the beginning of the second half, but first we're going to take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. And
I think one of the first restart services by DiBernardo,
Right.
you know, and an opportunity there in the box for the Red Stars. Again, another serve in from DiBernardo.
That was
Julie
a
Johnson
nice
gets a head
header,
on it.
just misses the far post. I remember that one. And the nice cross from Ella, but a little deep into the keeper's hands, no one home. Probably the most dangerous chance. That one or the one where there was a bit of a mix-up at about the 12, and they thought they were going to get a clean shot, but we got it out of there. This nice corner kick. Jackie down. Shot by Johnson, but there was a foul committed. DiBernardo again from the corner. Back post.
And Arnhem, same reaction to that one when you saw it the first time.
I know. And this one, a great save by Henninger. Jackie keeps it in play. Handball not called, but we thought probably shouldn't have been called. And Brock with the shot at the near post. Can't quite sneak it in. By and large, Henninger, I think, has had a great game. Certainly no lack of mobility.
And I think this is the goal
ball
here.
Into Hoy, who settles it. And a little chip just before Kyle gets there. Just over the great first half keeping work of Bianca Henninger. Henninger or Henninger? I don't like to pronounce things wrong.
Henninger, I believe.
We're going to go with Henninger, and you may tweet us and tell us if we got that wrong, because we do apologize if we do. This is Nina Berger deep, lays it off. Oh, this one I remember. Just can't quite head it in. That was Ella winning the ball in the back post off a great service.
And, you know,
So-
you tell defenders, you know, make sure that you're on that front shoulder so they can't get in front of you. And even though she didn't win the head ball, I think Winnow did a great job of making sure she was Ella had to back off to win a ball that got over her head.
Right.
You know, I think the story of those highlights. Can you make a quality serve from the flank? You know, I think the one from Kolupny to Brock there that was right at the end of the first half may not have made the highlights, but one of the better chances
Right.
where a serve from the flank
right.
did connect. But you saw a lot of services off of restarts, and certainly Chicago trying to make the most of those. You know, I think, you know, Coach Dames might be saying, hey, we've got to convert on some of those. We're getting some great chances off of corner kicks and off of restarts. We got to convert some of those great chances into goals.
Right. I think overall, hopefully as a somewhat objective fan, you know, I think the score's fair. You know, I think the Red Stars had a few better opportunities, maybe a little bit more dangerous play, but we were talking at halftime. Let me, you guys saw the standings very briefly. Let's make sure everyone knows what's at stake here, then maybe we'll move to substitutions or what we think might happen. We don't have any official word yet. So in the standings, Seattle obviously has gotten out to a great start here. 8 points clear ahead of Western New York. Now, Chicago can find a way to win this game and hang on. We move immediately into the hunt for that last playoff spot. I don't know how the game with Kansas City has finished up. I don't think these standings are updated, but anyway, we're deeply in contention and right where you want to be, and you know, let's keep accumulating points. I think same thing for Houston. If you can get 3 points out of this game, you're right in the mix.
Absolutely. You know, you think about this a little bit like you might think of a relay race in the track. You know, you want to stay close enough to that leader so when you hand off the stick on that last leg, you've got a chance.
Right.
And certainly Seattle has jumped out to a huge lead. But who knows what kind of runners still are yet to become a factor. As you said, there's a lot of players inserting themselves into this league in June for a lot of teams. A lot of teams are going to look different. A lot of teams are going to have a little bit more pace in those latter legs of this very long relay race called the NWSL season. And, you know, I think Seattle's going to be happy with where they are. Certainly to be undefeated and untied in your first 6 games is a tremendous start.
Right.
But it's a long season, and teams are going to change, and teams are going to know a little bit more about Seattle now going forward. Certainly their life continues to get a challenge. I think teams like the Red Stars have to really take advantage of maybe this section of their schedule. Tonight against Houston, play Boston twice, I believe, Houston again, and then Sky Blue. So certainly an important time for the Red Stars, I think, to get as many points as they can as they wait for their roster additions to come on, maybe one at a time, maybe 2 at a time.
Right.
You probably know better than that. But they've got to scrap and fight for every point they can get in these next 5 or 6 games, so that they're still in that relay race when the gun goes off for that final lap.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I think this is going to be an interesting race down the stretch. I don't think anybody is going to get away much further. Certainly Seattle, I think, will be reeled back in a little bit, but they're a class team, but there are a lot of class teams out there. This upcoming week, I think, is indicative of what we're going to see the rest of the season. We got both Houston and Chicago with 3 games essentially this week. Midweek tilt for the Red Stars against Boston on Thursday. Houston,
I believe, on the 14th on Wednesday. I think play at home against Portland Thorns.
And then both play again on Sunday. So, this is a potential 9-point week. And how you manage your players is absolutely critical. So with that, let's think about subs. Let's see if we can eyeball any. But, as I was looking ahead.
And as we thought, one of the potential subs might be, I see Stephanie Oakes now out on the field. Certainly, 22. I think a player that we might have seen. Looks like Berger's still out on the field. But certainly Oakes inserted into the lineup as a sub that we thought we might see for the Houston Dash.
All right, we were discussing, to get a little more height in the box. There have been a few chances in the box, and a second runner good in the air might be beneficial to Houston right now. And, they've got to go for points here, so they cannot lay back. So they put certainly Oakes is in.
And I think something that's pretty typical of the Red Stars, and you said it, normally we've been seeing subs from the Red Stars at about the 60th minute. It looks like they're starting with the same lineup they had that left the field at the end of the half.
Yeah, typically, at least as I've gotten to know Coach Dames over the years, he would expect things are going well, so probably keep them going well, but mindful that,
tough collision there between Masser and
Wenino.
Yeah, it looks like Wenino and Masser, a little bit of collision there for the ball.
And this one's going to go the Red Stars' way.
And again, another opportunity here for the Red Stars. Certainly within service range of the box here for DiBernardo. DiBernardo and Kolupny both on the ball. And again, those two on the ball attract a lot of attention and hopefully frees up something there in the box.
Right. You could send Kolupny down the side, get a nice service in, but I think this will go straight in. Good deep ball. That's a nice ball. Oh! Two players down in the box. It's probably Johnston. No? Nope, Johnston's running
back. Looks maybe Leone, I think.
I should have recognized, by the shoes. That's about all you can do from this distance.
And again, another great serve by DiBernardo at the back post. It was a tough one in that players probably already in the box. A little better timing of the runs might have given them an opportunity. But again, another dangerous opportunity for the Red Stars off of a restart. Yeah. Something I think they'll continue to be dangerous on.
Jackie can't quite get to that one. It's going to fall to Johnson. Serves it right up into the mix. And Oakes will get her first touch there. So, when you look at a week like this with 3 games in 7 or 8 days, 7 days, both teams are going to have to manage the legs down the stretch here. I'd be surprised if we didn't use, all 6 subs tonight. Leone sneaks by on the sideline. She's very dangerous with the ball and loves to go at people. And she's going to shoot finally. Nope. And that's one she wants back. You can see her sort of hitting herself. She could have maybe gone a little further, taken a shot, or just taken some pace off that. But great dangerous player on the flank.
Yeah, and Arnhem looking at things as these two teams sort of start to battle. Looks like Houston may have gone to a 4-3-3 and pushed Oaks, Ojai, and Berger up top with Ella Master dropping back into the midfield. So it'd be interesting to see how the Red Stars defense deals with those three personalities up front.
Yeah, Ella, of course, real workhorse, is going to do the dirty work and run stuff down wherever she is, but in the midfield is going to make people work. You want to know, Shields wins the ball back, and Lyon just misses the header there. And I hear, I don't know if we can get a shot of this, but some lonely drummers, a couple of tom-tom drums have broken out on the local 134 stands at the end of the field. And they're keeping a relentless beat going here for us in the second half. I think they had the drums put away for the rain in the first half. Oh, a little much there. So I see that the score is not... Oh, there's a replay. So 1-0 here early in the second half. No subs yet for the Red Stars. Are there any other subs besides Oaks, did we notice?
No, I don't believe so. I think it's just Oaks. You've got the...
Just
certainly
misses.
have the same back line, except for it looks like maybe Jordan Jackson has moved back into the back line.
It was a nice idea there. Had Masser breaking,
Right.
just a little too much pace. Masser couldn't pick that up, or she'd have been potentially in and around for a shot.
Right. So that's actually who Oaks has come in for. Oaks has come in for Kika Toulouse.
Well, it's a great pick-off by Oaks and a dangerous chance here. Let's see what she can do. Tries to cut it back. And Johnston won't have any of that, but they do earn a corner kick.
I think the first corner kick here for the Houston Dash. But Kika Toulouse, who is playing in the back line, has been replaced by Oaks, and Jordan Jackson has dropped back into that back line as they go to a 4-3-3.
All right. A dangerous chance here. Very different look to what Houston's doing on the set piece here.
Yeah.
Everybody
And I
way
think,
out of the box.
certainly Houston trying to pull people out of the box with 3 as opposed to with 2.
Mm-hmm.
But Julie Johnson
That's
again
nice,
win
and
the ball.
break is on. If we can touch it well. And Hoy is in. Ah! Sorry, that was Kolupny.
And actually, Kolupny, who, if she could get to that ball, certainly,
that
she's
ball's-
got the sophistication. But again, great job by Henninger to get off her line and pick up that ball. Just out racing
Let's call her Bianca.
Kolupny.
Can we call her
There you
Bianca?
go. That
Bianca,
works.
send us a note and correct us here. I should have checked your pronunciation. I apologize. And a lot more action for Houston early in the second half. Kwani takes that away from Masser, and let's see if the break is on. No, not enough numbers up for the Red Stars. So far, this is a much more energetic lineup. Seem to be winning the balls in midfield and generating more chances than they did the first half. We'll see if this holds up. Henninger. Bianca Henninger.
There you go.
Janet took a moment to look it up and make sure we weren't acting like rookies. All right, Houston coming back at us again. Juanino gets in on that one, but can't maintain control and touches it out of bounds. That's not nice to make Kaylin run like that. I can hear up here Rory exhorting Jen Hoy to get higher, higher, higher.
Haley Brock had put Romero under some pressure, and I think really wanted Jen to try to lock him in on that end, instead let him play back and play back out, and now having to deal with that.
Now, if we were to speculate, we've got some interesting options for the Red Stars if and when they do sub. I can't tell if we've got tired legs. I don't think so. Everyone should be at a good point of fitness. But let's talk about some of the people who might be coming on. So I think you want to place your bets here?
Certainly I would think that you got to look at some of the attacking personalities
She's
that
in.
are
She's
on
in.
the
She's
bench.
in. What a great ball! And if LeBlanc doesn't come out hard on that, that was a goal. Was that Berger that got through there?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was the speed that I think we were waiting to see that we were not seeing on the outside.
Yeah, and absolutely, I think, putting 3 up front, Coach Waldrom's really gone at this Red Stars defense, and it's given Berger a little bit of opportunity to make some well-timed runs, and certainly great ball in there, chance in,
Who
and
served
a
that
great
ball in?
job
Did you
for
catch?
LeBlanc. Didn't catch that.
Yeah, that was just a lovely ball. And there goes Ella, and another chance. Oh, just off the outside of the goalpost.
And maybe even LeBlanc getting a hand on that as they've awarded the dash with a corner kick there.
So Houston has come to life, and Red Stars are going to need to withstand this and see if they can't get a counter out of it. Ball's out, so never quite came in. So Janet, when you see something, whether it's a lineup change or a personnel change that makes such an obvious difference, the question to a rookie like me, an amateur, is like, why not earlier? Because it seems pretty obvious what's going on now, and it seems to be paying dividends.
But part of the reasons it's paying dividends is because it's different. The Red Stars are having to look at a little bit different look. The spaces where the midfielders, like Vanessa DiBernardo just then, the amount of pressure that the backs are under as they go to a 3 front. So part of the reason it's successful right now is it's because it's different, and it's going to take a little bit of time for the Red Stars to adjust, for them to figure out that they've got to deal with the 3 players coming at them, to figure out the players, and certainly Jordan Jackson even coming out of the back. She's a good player coming out of the back. So I think that's part of the process.
Good. She's got an overlap if she's patient. Probably get that ball off your foot. There's too much traffic in there. And Kalupny looking for a chance here. Now, so in terms of our subs, I think obviously Bywaters, who has looked extremely dangerous the last few games, could add some additional pace. I think the fans, and I know there are a lot of you out there who cannot wait to see Tancredi take the field in the glorious new uniform. That would be an interesting personnel change, probably to hold the lead, keep the ball held up there. That's a nice ball, a little deep into the keeper's hands.
Yeah, I think she wanted that to bend a little bit more away from Henninger and onto the foot of Haley
Right.
Brock or someone there at the far post. But, I think there's several attacking options for Dames to look at that could really probably make a difference in this game. Bywaters, Tancredi, Alyssa
Motzi,
certainly
yep.
3 people sitting on the bench who would bring some energy off the bench, would bring some attacking. But, they've got a 1-0 lead. So, did they want that attacking personality? Which of those players actually is the best defender of the group? Because it may
think
be
I have an
their
answer
defensive
there.
ability that gets them on the field more so than it does their attacking ability.
Right. I think if you watch our lineup, Motz probably is the best of the defenders in that bunch, and she usually will line up on the side where the biggest threat is. So in addition to her obvious offensive talents, she likes to track back and work hard to win the balls. That's a tough clearance. Johnston almost gets caught there. And Red Stars need to steady the ship a little bit, connect some passes and buy some time, get Houston's adrenaline to die off. And Brock and Hoy together. But Hoy's gets her pocket picked, and that ball's going to stay in. Touch back to LeBlanc, who's under pressure.
Jen Hoy was stripped just then by Becky Edwards, and she's the workhorse of this Houston Dash midfield.
That's in. That's a great ball. One time. Nice idea, nice idea. Yeah, great ball. Kalupny a little dinged up there.
Oh, you know, a great ball there from DiBernardo to Kolupny, and what a dangerous opportunity when you got one midfielder running at your back line with the ball, one midfielder running at your back line without the ball, and the ability to play that kind of ball just out of the reach of Kolupny. But Leon has a second chance at that. I think she puts that on frame, and the Red Stars are up 2-0.
Right, and you could say you'd like her to settle that ball, but she had Henninger in a bad place, and, you know, you one-time that, and you catch her off guard, and it might work. So.
Yeah, you know, I think it was a ball she could hit first time.
Yep.
You just want her to hit it on frame, and
she's got that shot.
I think she certainly knew what she was trying to do.
I believe he's reaching for a card, yellow card to Johnston.
I think that's Leon that's made her way over to that side again.
So she's moved over. Okay, yeah,
Haley
Johnston's
Brock
deep.
is coming on this side.
Okay,
Johnston
Leon with the
deep.
yellow card. I think that's her. Let's see. Leon has no yellow cards. Her first of the year. That brief delay was us checking our stat sheet. We have, you know, imagine
we don't have
30 or 40 pieces of paper.
That's right. We don't have a statistician right beside us whispering in our ear yet, right. Do we? So, considering we had to Google to get Henninger's...
It's in a dangerous place, lays it off, and Ella almost has a shot. Ball cleared. Hoy needs to hold that ball.
And that's certainly, I think, something that as Hoy continues to improve at this level, to play with sort of a one front the way that the Red Stars are, her ability to hold a ball like that's going to be critical. And, you know, if Tancredi can come in and do that, that may be a switch that Rory Dames looks to. In fact, there's someone standing up at the mid-stripe right now.
That could be Sitch as well.
I do believe it's Tancredi.
Uh-oh.
And it looks like she's going to be...
Listen to the crowd.
And as we said, you know, comes right off that comment probably perfectly in the sense that it looks like Tancredi's going to go up and play in that spot, hopefully to hold those balls that are getting played out. And Jen Hoy has come over here on the right flank a little bit to take Haley Brock's spot.
So you get a little bit more ability to try and keep the ball higher, let the rest of the players catch up to the play, and then you still have the dangerous, you know, Hoy, Kolupny, DiBernardo, and others to finish. But right now, the Red Stars need to possess the ball and stop this energetic Houston side. Every player on the bench, again, it's a quiet night because of the, you know, the rain delay. We can hear every player on the bench from Houston cheering every time that ball's touched.
It is nice to, you know, to have a chance to hear the players. You can hear a lot of communication going on. You can hear the coaches from the sidelines. I think both these young teams are still learning. They're still learning each other. And here's Jen Hoy. Here you're going to see the pace of Jen Hoy. But they're going to call play on. Chance to dribble. And well taken there again by Henninger.
Wow.
You know, that's a tough one for the official, I think. You know, Jen Hoy certainly... There was contact there, but she gets up, she gets the play, she has a chance to go to goal. You can't give her two opportunities.
I think once she's under control, that's a better chance than to take the restart. So you got to let her play. But I think,
you know, and so I think here you see the chess match just a little bit. You know, I think Houston looks like went to a 4-3-3. And I think if you watch, you're going to see Jen Hoy and Tancredi playing a little bit higher. So you're going to see a little bit more of a 4-4-2 look than the sort of 4-5-1 we saw earlier in the first half.
Now, Tancredi has been around the team a little bit, but because she's mostly in St. Louis finishing her chiropractic degree, she hasn't had as much time practicing with the team. So she, like I said, she's been around. She's seen them play. She hasn't been as active. So it'll be interesting. She's got to guess at some of the movements. She doesn't know the players as well. So we'll be watching her to, you know, see what she's trying to do to fit in here. But she does know Rory's concepts. They've talked at length. You know, she knows what he's trying to do.
And I think, you know, I think right now in the role that she's playing with this group, it's a pretty clearly defined role.
Yeah.
Get up as high as you can in their back line. Hold the ball for us as we come out of the back. Get it to one of our playmakers and then get in front of the goal and score goals. Doesn't get much more, much simpler than that.
Gambled and lost there on that ball in midfield. And now, oh boy. You can't go. Yeah, Ella had her studs up there, her cleats up, and that hurts. Let's take a look at that. Oh boy, is that Vanessa?
I think Bernardo coming back and attempting to clear a ball that's on the ground, and Ella trying to slide and keep it in the attacking half. And you get certainly the powerful slide of Ella Masser to Di Bernardo, and it flips her around, flips her over. But good to see her get up and be,
Vanessa,
walking away from this.
Obviously the recipient of a couple hard fouls already this year. Kind of welcome to the pros. But obviously had one with Carly Lloyd a few weeks ago. Now, Ella, that is her third yellow card in this league. 5 cumulative yellows. I think you have to sit out a game.
Well, and
so she's going to have to watch that. She's got
certainly,
3
I think,
in, 5 or 6 games?
And I think that's a challenge for her. I think...
Boy, another
and again, another you see Di Bernardo on the ground again, and I think it's a challenge she's going to have to deal with. She's so quick, deceptively, and gets her body between the player and the ball and wins that space, and is going to get fouled when she does that. Certainly going to be something that she's going to have to get used to in this professional league.
I think Crady a chance to head that ball, just doesn't get quite what she wants on it. Let's see what we can get going here.
But, she challenges her for it. It keeps them from clearing it out, and the Red Star is able to keep possession on that.
It certainly feels like things have changed a little bit here. Let's see if we pace by Tancredi. And Johnson is beat there, but big touch sends it to Johnston, who clears it. Oh, my. Pulled down from behind. Very chippy here. The last 90 seconds or so. Don't know who that foul was on. Was that Romero?
I think a foul on Romero, and you've got Ella Masser was down here in the middle of the park, getting up slowly. So again, starting to see a little bit more physical contact here.
Yep.
A little bit of a chess match with the coaches. The Red Stars sort of gone to their own change here.
Believe. Oh, no, I thought I saw someone at the sub line. I would think, given what we said earlier, if you score a goal, I think, maybe Motz or Sitch comes in to keep that. If we don't, you've got Bywaters to give some additional scoring punch and a lot of pace.
Yeah. You see Hoy starting to walk a little bit here, and, she's a sprint, get behind them type player, and I really would expect to see maybe someone come off the bench here that's probably played a few more minutes in this midfield area, and certainly on the defensive end of things. You can see her start to float central. Doesn't give the Red Stars a lot of width on this side. And something they might need in their efforts to try to keep a ball here late in this game.
Boy, Houston just closing down on every ball right now. It was great to see Melissa Tancredi. I mentioned earlier we did a food run to give them some calories after the long delay of game. And it was just great to see her, all smiles in the locker room. So glad to be back on the pitch.
Anytime you've been studying probably as much as she has, running around on a night like tonight is, I'm sure, about as close to heaven as she's been in a while.
Houston Energy is still at a very high level, chasing, trying to get that equalizer. Hoy, cuts back. Yeah, she was fouled.
Again, the quietness of the air, you could almost hear that contact.
Right.
You could almost hear the cleat that swung and missed as Jen Hoy made a change of pace move to try to get by there at the top of the box. And again, another dangerous opportunity here for the Red Stars. Probably a little bit tougher one here because it's a little bit outside shooting range, but a little tough almost too close to have that great Vanessa DiBernardo serve, and that's why you can see the minds at work on the ball right now, trying to figure out what's going to be the most dangerous opportunity for the Red Stars.
Right, you got all the ones you'd expect. You got Santa Catarina.
And an interesting sub here you see for the Houston Dash. That's Kailia Ohai stepping off the field for the Dash.
Wow.
Not a player maybe we expected to be taken off, but with as many games as they've got.
And I'm sorry, I didn't see the number.
I think that might be Tiffany McCarty.
Oh, sure, right. It's the other player we talked about at half. It's shorter. And the run was obstructed there, but probably fair, nothing called. But the ball was going where the player tried to get to, couldn't get into that spot.
Yeah, it takes a little bit to knock Julie Johnston down, so it would be hard to say that she ended up on the ground without at least some physical contact. Whether or not it was a foul, there was certainly probably physical contact there. But certainly it is McCarty who's coming up top now.
I'm going to coin a
for the
phrase
Houston
here.
Dash.
You know, when someone goes down in the box trying to get to a ball, I'm going to say they got Kadisha'd.
Yeah, that's probably, from what I understand, that's probably a pretty good phrase.
Oh, they were Kadisha'd right there. They're trying to give you a usage in context. No, I thought Kadisha Buchanan of Canada was just so impressive in that Canada-U.S. match this week. Just wow, and 18 years old, just so impressive.
I have heard lots of good things and seen some highlights. Certainly a player that Canada is going to look to sort of be a stalwart in their defense for a long time to come.
Now she plays for West Virginia. Do you know? I don't. I thought I saw West Virginia.
I believe that's correct.
It would be.
There certainly has been a pretty good Canadian connection to West
Right.
Virginia, so I believe that's
Oh,
correct.
nice steal there. Does she have options? Just not quite what she wanted to do. Good swarming defense by Houston. Plays it back. Henninger safely out to midfield.
You know, and there's Tancredi still trying to find her feet a little bit, but you can tell she's putting herself in good positions. Still not quite have the technical touches back to keep that ball as well as I think she's capable of.
And I think I do now see a sub getting ready for the Red Stars. Fans are vocal. Everyone that made it through the rain delay is still here, determined. And Johnston gets there calmly. Wow. Wow. Nice job. You know, you see a lot of players who just want to whack that ball out of bounds and give up possession. She kept possession for the Red Stars. And here comes the Red Stars substitute. And it should be Zakia Bywaters.
As I sort of figured, you know, Jen Hoy steps off and a little bit of a fresh legs out here on the flank. You know, the kind of player probably that you want to see running up and down this flank.
Well, and she'll, you know, the Houston defense will have to stay home and respect that. The last few weeks, if you've been scouting Zakia, she has just had some electric touches on the ball. And Tancredi, nice job holding it up. Doesn't quite get it where she wants, but waited for the players to come into space.
You know, and that's the difference, I think, between a player like Tancredi and a Jen Hoy. You know, Jen Hoy gets that ball up top. She's looking to take off and go running, whereas Tank, as they like to call her in Canada, holding that ball, looking for Kolupny, making those runs in behind, or it may be Zakia or Adrienne Leon, but certainly looking to play someone in when she's got the ability to hold the ball up front.
Houston still very dangerous here. You know, I don't think we're done with goals in this game. I think either Chicago gets another or Houston's going to have a go here.
You know, Houston
Clearance,
certainly has gone with
Leon
an attacking lineup.
Leon is in and looking for options. Maybe hold up just a little. Let's see.
Oh.
Nice job.
And I'm not sure hold up is in Dree's vocabulary either. You know, if she's got space on the flank, doesn't matter if there's 1 or 2 dash players, she's looking to take on. And you like that attitude. You like that mentality. I know Coach Dames loves that go after it, get after them, go at them, take them on kind of mentality. And certainly Adrienne Leone has that.
Right. Well, she's going to create opportunities. Nice little turn there. Oh, and Bywater's right to the keeper. Falls nicely to her. Tancredi just misses the touch, but it fell just exactly where he wanted and couldn't quite find the spot.
You know, great little touch to beat 2 players here by DiBernardo, and again, a good driven service into the box. And Tancredi does what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to fight for that ball and make sure the defender doesn't clear it out, make sure it keeps going across the box. And again, a great opportunity, just hit right at Henninger. Made her look, you know, hit her right where she needed to be, but that's also a great goalkeeper getting into that spot, moving herself across the goal.
Would have been an epic first touch for Z in this game.
Absolutely would have been one of the best. You know, if your first touch can end up in the back of the net. And here comes another substitution for the Houston Dash.
So 30 is off. Masser is off. And Dominique Richardson is in for Ella Masser. I think Ella... probably wearing down a little bit, but
and I think maybe getting Kaylin Kyle off the back line now, and defender that played for University of Missouri.
Oh, she's calling her on. Little surprise. Nice little touch there by Tancredi. Not quite the pace, but went through the back of the defender there. Oh. That's a yellow card from Bianca Henninger, and we were able to hear her, unfortunately too clearly, as she said, "Hey ref, wake up."
I think that will get you, when the center ref can hear you yell at the assistant referee, she was offsides, "Hey ref, wake up." I think that's probably going to get you a yellow card these days. You might want to wait till there's a bigger crowd who's yelling a lot of other things in order to make that. But, you know, I think Bianca certainly felt like Tancredi was offsides when she received that ball. But, I think the ball stayed in the air for quite a bit of time, so I'm not so sure she was when the ball was served.
Jackie Santa Catarina with a good win there. And Z tries to control, does, and loses it. But Kwani's there to keep it going. Johnston.
We got a little bit of a 50-50 game going here as the ball just goes back and forth. Neither team really having the composure to get this ball down. Hopefully here Jordan Jackson finally takes a little bit.
Come on, Dree. Well, does nick her leg there, earns the foul. Good. Lori.
And there's a player who can take the ball out of the air and settle it and get some possession.
Really just has a string on the ball and can control it. And Dree's going at goal. She's going to take her shot. Nope. Excellent. Wow. Wow. Great idea. Lori has one option there. Ball's out. Dree set up outside the field of play. Didn't realize it.
Unfortunate there, as the Red Stars had a pretty good bit of possession going there before Dree
Lori seems
floated out of bounds there.
Kolupny seems to have found a new gear here late. I think wants to see if we can't get that controlling second goal. And ball's kept alive. DiBernardo. Let's control the ball now. Tancredi and an over. Oh, that was very, very close. Kolupny had tried to get back onside, and I think the line kept coming up with her. Do you think that was an offsides call?
I think so. Certainly was very close. The sophistication of Kolupny. I think she was floating with Holly Hine there in the back line, but maybe just took off a second too early. But again, you see the difference that Tancredi makes in terms of just playing simple, being in the right gap for us, to get that ball, play it back to Vanessa DiBernardo and allow Kolupny to make that run in behind.
Right.
And I think maybe that's where the spark has come is, Kolupny has realized there's someone who's going to hold the ball up a little bit, and it's allowed her to get a few more touches on the ball. And I think when she's touching the ball a lot, she's in the game more. You see that energy. You see her doing things. And I certainly think that's been a little bit of a good change since Tancredi's come into the game.
Such a treat as the players on any team, but obviously this is the team I know best, but as they get to know each other and the movement starts to be in unison, and it's just exciting to see. Tancredi the other night with Christine Sinclair on the Canadian team, just some beautiful vision, a couple of touch passes because she knew where Sink was going to be. That ball's going to get out of bounds over the touch line, the end line, sorry. But when Tancredi gets that rhythm with her teammates, it should be even greater. I think we still have a couple of weeks before Melissa's done in St. Louis and up here full time.
Well, and it's not just her being here full time with the team; it's her actually being able to live and train and train full time, and you can work out on your own and do some of those things, but it's not the same as getting to be played in and play in the game.
On the end line, Weneno calmly works it out, but almost got caught.
Yeah, certainly fortuitous there that Leon doesn't lose that ball to the dash there in the corner and knocks it off someone out of bounds.
Yep, Henninger 25, 30 yards out from goal, screaming, trying to exhort her team to get going. Really like her leadership tonight. A little optimistic, I think, from Kaylin Kyle.
Yeah, ambitious sometimes we like to say, but also maybe a little bit of a sign there that there's 90 minutes of soccer in those legs, and a shot maybe she would have hit with a little bit more, actually hit that ball, kind of a swing and a miss there as she went after that one.
Little missed goal kick by LeBlanc, puts it right back in play for Houston, and the shape's a little awkward. Good work on the back post by the. We got a player down in the box for the Red Stars.
And I think that's Weneno who went up for that ball and maybe had a little bit of a collision there.
Yeah, holding the back of her head. I don't know if we can get a replay of that.
Yeah, certainly the trainer coming on and get a sense from Julie and the referee that they feel like the trainer at least needs to take a look here at Weneno as she gets up slowly.
She doesn't like it when Cheryl comes out. She's like, not for me, you don't.
And certainly adjusting. And here you see the ball served in.
Yeah, just head to head. Forehead of Nina Berger goes into the back of Weneno's head there.
Yeah, certainly one of those, the challenging situation when you've got a ball and two heads trying to meet in the same place.
Yep.
She seems to be shaking it off.
Is a tough cookie. Most of the players are, but we've seen her for years now, and boy, takes a licking and keeps on going. And for you young players out there, that's something to watch. If you've been hit in the head, you don't always want to get back up. But if you're certain, and if you've got appropriate people checking you, then you can get back in the game.
I think there's always the mentally tough players are the ones that know the difference between.
Tancredi is in this time, onside, looking, and could get a corner. Is going to get a throw in from it.
And as that ball goes out of bounds, the tough ones are the ones that know the difference between, pain and injury, and can play through things that the medical professionals say it's okay. And
offside.
You certainly look for those players. Mental toughness is an unbelievable trait to have. I'm reading a great book. Jay Billis has written a great book right now called Toughness that I would recommend to any young player.
Isn't he a Dookie?
I think so, but
and
I
you're
don't
a Tar
mention
Heel.
that. I don't mention that.
But you just shout out to the Dookie. I think
I know I did.
All right.
But really, the shout out is to mental toughness, because it's such a wonderful trait as an athlete. And part of that has to do with the physical side, but probably even more important, the mental side of things.
No, I mean, to a person, this is a great group of ladies for the Red Stars. Very, proud of who they are as people and how hard they work. And, just a little mishit there. Had Tancredi free in the middle of the field and sprayed it a little bit to the right. It's a nice one touch. Kwan, so much energy. Hard to see Michelle Kwan, run down or lose her pace in 90 minutes.
There's some unsung heroes out here, players that have really done their job and done their job well. The ball cleared just there by Holly Hine, player from Michigan. She's made it difficult for the Red Stars to get in behind. Jordan Jackson, who was playing in the midfield at the beginning and is out here at left back. But players like Rachel Kwan, who
nice layoff there. Does she have? She has Z, and she sees her. And watch Z's final burst. She's got wheels.
Takes herself to the end line, though.
Oh, look at that! Tancredi running on, had a nice chance. Earns a corner kick. Good work by Z. I thought she was going to try and shoot that or put it across the face of the goal, but I like the idea. Knew there was a runner.
I thought she had an opportunity to take that touch to goal, and whether she was trying to get to the end line or her first touch just took her there, certainly made a great opportunity to try to find a runner in the box.
All right, now we're going to see the dynamic duo of Kalupny and DiBernardo. And again, the options are many here. DiBernardo is almost always going to serve this in, but if they don't cover it well, she'll give a little ball to Kalupny, and L'Oreal.
You certainly, every time they get on the ball here, you see two Houston Dash players, and that's two bodies they don't have in the box to try to find that ball.
Nice. Very nice. Was that Jackie?
That was Jackie Santa Catarina. And again, someone who's
Kwan gambled there.
I hope.
Let's see if they can make her pay. Kwan really took a long run up there trying to win that ball, exposed her left flank space, but so far everything's okay. By the way, one more time, thank you to the fans who are sticking with the webcast, who are here in the stadium. None of this works without the support of you guys, and we love our Red Stars fans.
And we're into the final 5 minutes here of this game. The second half has gone by pretty quickly. I would say not a ton of chances on either side. A lot of physical hard play as we talk about young teams, and maybe not as polished as these two teams will be in weeks to come.
Right.
But certainly both teams playing, I think, with a lot of determination, a lot of grit, and a lot of fight. And you want to see that in your young players. Yeah,
Houston, much more bite, much more disruption of what Red Stars are trying to do this second half. Randy's a great coach. Randy and Rory know each other pretty well. And know each other's tactics. She's definitely offsides.
Yeah, hanging out a little bit offsides there. And it's great for a high player like that to sort of play with that offsides line.
Right.
But she played with it a little too much on that one.
But now she's onsides. And does she have the pace to finish this? She's got the positioning. No, that's well played by the defender. That's a foul.
Certainly,
they're going to call that one on Kalupny.
Tancredi tracked down there by Jordan Jackson, who certainly has pace. Seen her play for several years now at the University of Nebraska, and certainly has the pace. And again, I think
sticks a foot in, wins the ball, disrupts what could have been. The Red Stars were still tracking back to get in position, so that was a nice little win by Lyon. Let's step up. Outside right to McCarty, who gets a shot cross off. What do you think?
I think she was actually crossing that.
She gets
serving
a cross
it, I would
off,
say. We'll call it a serve to the far post.
Right-footed serve off, but just doesn't have the runner, or a little bit deeper than she meant.
And again, I think you see maybe in these young players not quite the sophistication needed to get that final ball in. You saw it from some of the young Red Stars in the first half. You know, balls out on the flank, maybe not quite as precise or quite as sophisticated a serve as you might need. Not quite as sophisticated a final ball. Adrienne Leon has had some opportunities, I think, to serve some balls in from the flank and a little too deep at times. But things I think these teams will continue to improve on.
Interesting. Tancredi. Zeke might have the wheels to get to that. She does. Just misses. Okay. It's interesting. Tancredi went sort of wide left there. I was expecting to see her high on the pitch, but they've shifted again on me.
I think a player like Tancredi is savvy enough to
handball. Not in a great spot, but tracking back, finding.
It's a great birthday. They just wished happy birthday to someone here in the stands when you stick around for 3 hours to get your happy birthday wish.
We had, we had buses here that came up for this I saw one from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. And, bus full of, I don't know what club it was. I apologize. Jay will punish me tomorrow because I didn't know the answer. But, it's just amazing. They took the bus down. They commit to a game. They stayed. And obviously are here now much later than they intended to be.
And such a great opportunity.
Well, it's a nice curling ball. Sam Johnson cuts that one out.
And a good ball served in there by Oakes.
And Dree just making the back line work. Henninger out. Just going to have to get a nice touch on that. So why am I here, Janet? Why am I doing the webcast? Any idea?
I don't. I'm just happy to have been able to accompany you and spend this time. But I couldn't say I know the reason for your presence in the chair next to me.
Well, the great Ben Solomon, who has been our announcer for 3 years, is got a real job. He's always had a real job, but it's just too much of a conflict now. So Ben did our first 2 home games this year and is going to go into semi-retirement for this year. We're still trying to win him back next year, and we wanted to reset. We didn't want to break in a new offsides, but Red Stars win the ball anyway. But anyway, so Ben, if you've listened to a lot of broadcasts, like I know you have, you got to make sure whatever announcers we have understand the women's game, understand the players and the context and what we're trying to do here. And so we're trying to break in a couple of new people, and we should have them ready for our next home game.
Oh, fantastic. I think the fans have had a wonderful...
It's a great ball. Still alive. And Z could cause trouble here. Hold. We're going to give the ball right back again.
And again, here at the game, that's the last thing the Red Stars want to do is give the ball back to Houston and give them another opportunity to serve the box, because certainly that's a couple of dangerous serves into the box. Julie Johnson has dealt well with them, but again, here comes another serve into the box. With,
far post is open. That's an opportunity for McCarty. Weneno covers that, and that ball's, oh my goodness, that ball was on line and above by a couple of feet. But curling nicely. It
certainly looked like was a little bit closer maybe than anybody on the sidelines, on the Red Star sidelines would have liked to have seen. LeBlanc looked at it like, no problem, it's going over. But I'm sure there was a few extra heartbeats on the Red Star sidelines. Probably in the person sitting next to me.
Yeah, no, we had the perfect angle from behind the ball from here. And I think the camera had that shot too. But, boy, that looked like it was going to curl upper 90, and I thought
and really another dangerous opportunity here. You see Henninger at the mid-stripe, all of the Dash players in the box for this serve coming from Noyola.
Another great ball. Wow, anything can happen. Jackie clears that and saves the corner. Well done. Well done. Ball in. Z's going to get on this one. Hold. She's got the speed. She can't get through. Just disrupted enough.
You know, and you can hear Coach James over here, yelling, "Make it hard." The last thing he wants is a easy opportunity for Houston.
Here comes another chance to serve it in. There we go. Kill the game. Lori's going to put it right in the corner. You know she knows the right thing to do here. And there is, nope, heard a whistle.
Nope, I think we're holding this goal kick for the last sub for the Red Stars here. Probably to eat a little bit of the clock. But also I think maybe Coach James isn't happy with Zakiya Bywaters and her ability to hold the ball right now in this last few minutes. So, and as you said, one of the best defensive presence in that midfield, Alyssa Mott's into the game now to make sure. And a lot of the serves have come from that side that they've been serving the box, and I think maybe this is Coach James making sure that no more of those serves get into that Red Stars box here late in this game.
Appears to be a message and that is the game, ladies and gentlemen. The Chicago Red Stars defeat the Houston Dash in the first visit ever from the Houston Dash to the Benedictine University. A very important 3 points. Going into a stretch where hopefully there's some more of those for the Red Stars.
It's an important stretch for the Red Stars to get points, and 3 points tonight, vitally important, I think, for them. A tough game for the Houston Dash. They're looking for points, and it's been a tough start to the season for this young Houston Dash team. And, I know Coach Randy Waldron will stay positive. He didn't take this job expecting to have a cakewalk in his first season. I think he's there to build a program. And certainly I think this is a young team who's going to keep going. They didn't expect to start the season 1-4-1, I think, after tonight. But certainly they've got some players coming in from the overseas that are certainly, I think, going to make an instant impact on them. And I think that the challenge for them right now is to find ways to create opportunities and create goals. I think they're struggling to do that right now, and it's tough to win games without putting the ball in the back of the net.
But some very positive things for Houston in the second half. Berger had a flash that you start to realize the pace that I frankly didn't see earlier. Stephanie Oakes caused trouble. McCarty caused trouble when she came in. There are a lot of things, I think, for Houston to work with here. Got 2 world-class defenders coming in a few weeks. So, this reminds me of our May last year, where we knew, the Red Stars just had too many injuries. We were waiting for the Germans to show up. And when they got here and we got everything stabilized, we got a lot of points pretty fast. So I think Houston can turn the corner here. I don't think any team, it's a 1-0 game, for goodness sake. So, every game is going to be a great match.
Like I said, the parity in this league is going to be there. And as players come in and out, certainly that's going to continue to make some changes.
Okay.
I think that's going to continue to give those teams an opportunity to compete. And, you can see Randy Waldron down there with his team at the on the pitch. And I know he's telling them that they've got to keep believing in the things that they're trying to do, that they've got to keep working on the things that they need to work on. Like I said earlier, those players coming in, those defenders, it's going to allow them to do some different things in the midfield. Everybody's going to get better when they add those players to the rosters, and the same thing I think will happen with the Red Stars. This league over the next month is going to continue to raise the level of play on the field. And if there's a message to send out there to the fans, it's that come and watch these games, because they're only going to get better, and it's fun and exciting brand of soccer to watch.
Yeah, we love the top to bottom parity in this league. And so let's take a look. I think the highlights already. Let's take a look at the highlights from this evening. And not sure. start with a double foul by Haley Brock there.
Certainly, it was a physical game. I don't think there's.
That's the one where Berger got in almost.
Yeah,
danger. Kolupny. Just about, and the one-timer from Dree there, almost.
Again, Kolupny in the second half made quite a few runs in behind the Chicago defense. And a tough one for the referees. But, when she gets to get upright and get that many touches and try to beat the goalkeeper, I got to give it to him for giving her advantage at that point.
Well, and I think you have to love when you're backup keeper can have a game like this.
Absolutely.
You're feeling pretty good if McLeod's up for international duty. But very nice work by Bianca Henninger.
You know. And this is a great little turn here by DiBernardo, and a quick serve into the box, and a great opportunity from Z. Again, Tancredi probably even wishes that she had a chance there. A great little ball.
Great idea.
Great little ball there by Leon. And I think those are the things the Red Stars are going to want to do more of. It's great to see Leon take players on.
One-touch layoff there.
Another great ball here. I think her first touch maybe took her to the inline as opposed to towards the goal, so she made the most of it. I think she would have liked to have taken that touch and given herself a chance to shoot. Santa Catarina getting her head on another corner. Great serve there by DiBernardo. Tancredi gets in, and Tancredi and I have a lot in common. Not the fastest forward out of the group. And, again, I think as she plays more, you just get used to putting your body in a position that Jordan Jackson's going to have to foul her to get to that ball and give yourself space to finish. Here's the goal again.
Just a soft touch right over Henninger.
And then again, a serve from the blank, a serve from the flank, that has a lot of pace on it. Tough for that defender to deal with. Here it is again. It's a tough ball. It bounces on that turf. Romero has a little bit of tough time dealing with it. Kyle tries to get back.
Step from snuffing that out.
Jen Hoy able to stop, change direction, get her foot on it, and put the ball over Henninger, and there's the difference in the game.
That's it. It was a great game. We appreciate everyone staying with us. Houston off to play their next game on Wednesday.
Yep, Wednesday the 14th against Portland, I think, which will certainly be a tough one, but back at home in Houston. And, both teams here tonight. This is the start of a long stretch, a 3-game stretch in 7 days. Houston plays Wednesday and Sunday. The Red Stars turn around and play Thursday, Sunday. And
it's an odd back-to-back Boston. So the team's actually staying in Boston. It kind of makes sense. So they're going to actually, I believe, see a Red Sox game while they're out there. But Boston twice, another team that I think is going to turn things around. Right now, I think the Red Stars have to try and get some points off this road trip. So
I think 2 at Boston, and then back to play the Houston Dash, right? See this team again, and certainly opportunity maybe for the Red Stars to have a couple of different players in the mix against Houston next time and change some things up, and the Dash maybe as well. So
I know we do have Abby Urseg arriving at O'Hare, I believe, Friday.
Fantastic, and hope she gets played in as quickly as possible, and all the paperwork I know you guys have to do. There's I's to cross or T's to cross and I's to dot before those players just step on the field. So
well, Janet from Benedictine University, I want to thank you once again, and I think we're going to hear from you a few more times this year. The fans love you, so.
Well, I enjoy doing it. It's fun talking about a game that I've watched developed, and certainly happy that we're here having a pro league, and all these players who I've seen play over the years and play for our country and win world championships, for them to have a place to showcase their talent out here. And what a great group of people. You just saw the Red Stars come over to the couple of hundred fans who have stayed with them. Game was supposed to be at 5 o'clock. It's now 10 o'clock on Mother's Day, and there's a pretty good group of fans out here still. And you see them come over and personally thank those fans for being here and staying with them. And they truly do appreciate the fans that they have in this game.
Right, so I'm going to take this moment to say thank you to my family, and we will see you next time at Benedictine University. And take care, everybody. Thank you for supporting NWSL.
Thank you, and have a happy Mother's Day.
Good night, everybody.